Top 10 NFL wide receivers, 10 to 6, 2016. T.Y. Hilton, age 27. Jordy Nelson, age 32. Brandon Cooks, age 23. Amari Cooper, age 23. Michael Thomas, age 23. Tyrell Williams, age 25. Julian Edelman, age 31. Demaryius Thomas, age 29. Golden Tate, age 29. Pierre Garçon, age 30. Emmanuel Sanders, age 30. Deshaun Jackson, age 30. Michael Crabtree, age 29. Devontae Adams, age 24. Kelvin Benjamin, age 26. Stephon Diggs, age 23. Allen Robinson III, age 23. Number 10, Dez Bryant, age 28. So we're going to start this countdown of the 10 to 6 with Dez Bryant being number 10. Unfortunately, there is a reason why he's not higher. The big main reason that he's not higher is not because he's at all declining at all, or he's just a terrible wide receiver. He's really not. You're looking at 2014 when he had like 16 receiving touchdowns and over 1,000 receiving yards and almost 80. He never really cracked the hundreds, but he's still dangerous nonetheless. It's because his numbers have been falling off a little bit, and that's due to injuries and just kind of those kind of things. But at the same time, you can't put a guy at number 1 if that's what's going on. If he's not playing everything, or he's not producing as he should have, as he should be, and he has been. So that's a big thing of why I can't put him on number 1 or even top 5. I can't put him at all higher than the other guys because the other guys have been producing really well. He deserves to be on this because he's that much of an impact in the game where you lose a Dez Bryant, you lose a lot of your offense. Again, it's nice to have Zeke and they have options at wide receiver, but Dez Bryant is the main guy there at wide receiver. And Dak's going to definitely try to find him as much as he can next year. I know that because he's just a great wide receiver, but he needs to be number 10 right now because of his numbers dropping. Now let's just take a look. This year he played 13 games and started. He had 50 receptions, 796 receiving yards. His average reception was 15.9 yards. He had 8 receiving touchdowns. His longest one was 56. Average game of 61.2 yards. And he had a fumble. So, now, in the playoffs, played 1 game. We all know the Green Bay-Dallas game. He had 9 receptions for 132 yards. 14.7 was his average per reception. Had 2 touchdowns that game, and 132-yard game, obviously. So that's his average, because he only played 1 game there. But you're looking at, he's able to really produce, and you can tell that. That's why he's on this list, because in the playoffs, he did really well. He has not kicked or punt returns since 2012, so that's off the table there. Again, the fumble that he committed, it wasn't recovered, so that's rough. Passing wise, he did pass. He actually was 1 for 1, so 100% completion. He actually had a touchdown from it, so that's great. And he had a 147.9 rating for that, so that's pretty cool. It went for 10 yards, but he got a touchdown, so that's pretty good. Now this year in itself, unfortunately, didn't make the Pro Bowl, did make the Pro Bowl. Yeah, he made the Pro Bowl, and that's pretty much about it. Other than that, you know, at least he made the Pro Bowl. He's definitely worthy of being in the Pro Bowl a lot, and he's just a worthy guy. He's doing a great job, and his contract is 3 years, $42 million. So we'll see by the age of 31 if he'll stay in Dallas or if he will go. But I know he's trying to be the best 88 in Dallas. He's trying to pass, of course, legendary Michael Irvin. We'll see about that. I think he's done a big case for that. He's definitely served a comparison of it, and I hope his numbers get better. He's a good wide receiver. I want to see him succeed. So, number 10. Number 9, AJ Green, age 29. So let's take a look at AJ Green. He's also on this list. He was a lot higher before, but the reason he has dropped is, again, numbers. Very inconsistent kind of guy in terms of where we're at here. I mean, I'm thinking of him as more of a 90, late 90, early 100 reception kind of guy. The past 2 years in 2012, 2013, I was like, all right, he's climbing up. Then he has a down year of 69, comes back to 86. Now he had 66 receptions, so it's like it's really inconsistent for me. You know, I think the only thing that's got him above Dez is because he had an 86 kind of thing, whereas Dez kind of had like 31 receptions 2015. This year he had like 50. At least AJ had more numbers above of him, but at the same time he needs to improve a lot better. He needs to be a lot better, but again, when you play 10 games, it's kind of hard. But I think he deserves to be on this list. Just there's a lot of good wide receivers that are in the game right now, so you know it's going to be kind of hard. You're going to have to step up your game. So let's first take a look at his contract. And his contract, as of right now, it stands at 3 years, $45 million. Very good contract, very well deserved for a guy that's actually he's pretty big. He's able to catch the football. He's a great route runner, you know. So no, not doubting his talent. Just his numbers needs to just be more consistent. But again, he's got to be on the field for that. And this year he's 10 games. 10 games he started and played. Had 66 receptions for 964 yards. 14.6 was his average reception. Had 4 receiving touchdowns. 54 was his longest. Average game of 96.4. And no fumbles. So that's pretty good to see. Again, didn't get to the playoffs. When he is in the playoffs, he doesn't get many yardage, so that's another thing like he needs to improve on if they get to the playoffs once again in 2017. And like I said, no fumbles for him, which is very good. And just overall, made to the Pro Bowl. Obviously, made to the Pro Bowl. And he's a dangerous guy. It really is. I would like to see him really improve a lot better. I just need another one of his really good years for him. I just want to see him just dominate and become the player that he needs to be and the player that he is, which is a top 5 kind of guy. He really does deserve that claim, honestly. Just gotta make a name this year and get it better. So, but he deserves this. He's number 9. Number 8, Jarvis Landry, age 24. So, I'm going to take a look at this guy, Jarvis Landry, nicknamed Juice. No, honestly, he's just a great pick that they got. Already when he was picked in 2014, he was already a sensation. People already knew he was special, and he had a great year in 2015. This year, kind of a little bit of a downgrade, but at the same time, he's still able to impact, and he's a big part of the Dolphins offense. And also, we'll see how much they actually pay this guy during the offseason. We'll see how much. I think he deserves it. Right now, that's why it brings up his contract is 1 year, $868,728. So not even $1 million. Deserves more than just that much amount of money. I think he deserves like a 4-year, 5-year contract. I feel like they should give that to him. We'll see, 40, 50 million, I'm not sure, but they deserve to pay him a lot more than that. He's just he's a good player, a good slot guy, but also I think he develop as a good corner guy as well. I think he's just an all-around great athlete, and very underrated for sure. And coming out of LSU, out of Odell. Odell's gotten a lot of attention, but he hasn't. I think he should. He's a very exciting player to watch, honestly. Dolphins are very exciting to watch, period. But yeah, Jarvis Landry, though, doing great things. This year, 16 games he played and started. He had 94 receptions for 1,136 receiving yards, 12.1 his average reception, 4 receiving touchdowns. Longest one was 71 yards. Average game of 71 yards. Also had 5 rushes for 17 yards, 13 his longest, and 2 fumbles. So, in the playoffs, he actually did produce pretty well. 11 receptions, 102 yards, no touchdowns, but his average reception was 9.3, and of course 102 is his average game. He only played 1 game, lost pretty bad to Pittsburgh, but he was still pretty valuable if they targeted him 14 times and he caught it 11 times, you know. He's also a kick returner. He had 16 returns for 163 yards. His longest was 20. Average run of 10.2. That's in punt returns. Didn't get any kick returns, but not this year at least. But, you know, yeah, very, very good asset. Very fast, speedy guy. In the playoffs, again, he also had a 1 punt return for 9 yards. And even passing, he tried his thing at passing. 1 attempt. He went 0 for 1. But that's okay. He's not a quarterback. He's a wide receiver. Fumbles, no fumble recoveries, just 2 fumbles. But it did lead him into a Pro Bowl, which is very, very nice. He was also 7th in receptions, 10th in receiving yards, you know. Yeah, pretty much his numbers speak for himself. I think he deserves the whole prop, the whole just recognition. I think it's time people actually paid attention to him because he's a very, very good football player. That's all I can say, really. Jarvis Landry, number 8, and he will climb up. Number 7, DeAndre Hopkins, age 25. So DeAndre Hopkins is on this list. Yes, he had an off year. Yes, his numbers went down, but that's what happens when your quarterback isn't really that great. You sign him to like $70 million, and all he does is just really throw the ball away, and just not the... He was just way too hyped. It's just unfortunate, the unfortunate truth. I think he could have stayed in Denver and been a lot better. But hey, it is what it is. Tom Savage, maybe he can come in and kind of share the ball a little more, be a little better. I think his numbers will even go up just because he makes catches that don't look like they're feasible and makes them look really easy. So that's something I'm very impressed with DeAndre. And so that's why he's number 7. He's just a freak of nature. He's just, you know, he's ready to get at it and ready to show you something. And just look at his numbers right now. 16 games he played and started. He had 78 receptions for 954 yards, 12.2 yards per reception for 4 touchdowns. 51 is long, 59.6 was his average game, and he had no fumbles, so that's pretty good. In the playoffs, you're looking at what he did in 2 games, 11 receptions for 132 yards and 1 touchdown. Average reception was 12, 38 his long, and 66 his average game. No fumbles, again, really good. You know, for some reason didn't get to the Pro Bowl. That's quite all right. He will be next year because he's gonna get better. He's gonna get back to the DeAndre we know and the DeAndre we love to watch on TV. And enough said. He's just one of the best in the game. And with 1 year, $1.91 million, if this doesn't bode well for him quarterback-wise, he'll just go to a different team. Just that simple. I think he deserves a good quarterback for them. And if this isn't helping, might as well. I think he might test free agency. But yeah, deserves to be number 7. So that's where he's at. Number 6, Mike Evans, age 23. Mike Evans leaped a lot, actually. He went from a guy that didn't even put him on the list to this year and putting him on the list. Higher than Dez, higher than AJ, higher than Jarvis, and higher than DeAndre. For the main sake, the guy did really well this year. I mean, him and Jameis, they connected a lot. And he showed a lot of potential. And first of all, he's been doing this since he's entered the league. It's just, they just wanted to just see how else he did on, in terms of as a receiver. How was he still going to do? And he's doing just fine. He got better numbers this year. Another thing. He is a gigantic monster at receiver that really corners can't cover, to be quite honest with you. He puts them on their fucking back. He just knocks them out, honestly. And he kicks ass. He just kicks ass at playing this position. He's a big dude for a receiver that his speed it feels like he's like a small man, His speed is amazing for a big guy. He's strong. He's just able to just get the ball. He's athletic. He's super athletic. And he's just a freak, dude. He's a great player to watch, and he's just super close. Every year he will inch closer to being in the top 5, Whether you agree with who the top 5 will be in the next YouTube video, well, that's for you to decide. That was my opinion on who's top 5 right now, and who's really earned it by previous years and how they produced, and also just how they've done, how they've affected their teams. Mike Evans has affected the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense, and now adding Deshaun, I think his numbers will drop a little bit, but not too much. I still think he'll produce. I still think this offense is going to be amazing. I think Tampa Bay are playoff contenders, hopefully, again, because they just have a really good team on paper, honestly. I want to see him in the playoffs. I really do. I want to see Levante David and Joe McCoy try to tear it up, to be quite honest with you. I love defense. It's my number one thing. But it'd be nice to also see Mike Evans and Jameis, and hopefully Doug Martin just explode, Mike Evans deserves to be on this list. And before we even get to Mike Evans, his contract is 2 years, $7.32 million right now. He's going to make a hell of a lot more than that once that contract is up. Let me tell you, he's going to make a lot more, believe me. So that's nothing for him. He's gonna make more than just that much. He deserves that for sure. Again, what he's done this year, 16 games he played and started. He had 96 receptions for 1,321 yards, 13.8 yards per reception for 12 receiving touchdowns. 45 was his long. He had 82.6 was his average yard per game, pretty much. And he had no fumbles, so that's very good. And like I said, on top of that, that was pretty much it. He did get to the Pro Bowl, which is very nice. He was 6th in receptions, 4th in receiving yards, second in receiving touchdowns, and 6th in receiving yards per game. So pretty much, overall, it's a pretty good dude. He's pretty good. Again, didn't make a first team, unfortunately. But I mean, you got to give him credit. He made the second team according to the AP kind of thing. The AP put him on the second team overall. So he's an All-Pro. Very good to see that. Second team All-Pro of this year. So the AP All-Pro. Great guy. He's going to be great in fantasy for sure. Get him on your fantasy team when you can. And just in general, he's a great football player. So watch out for him today. Not just today, in the future and this year. Just watch out for him. He's going to explode for sure. And he's just going to get even better.